Welcome to the Pickleball Recovery Podcast, where we highlight products and practices to help you feel better faster, so you can spend less time stiff, sore, and injured, and more time on the court doing what you love. This podcast is sponsored by AlloMD. Don't just mask pain, eliminate it. AlloMD provides intense relief and advances continual repair for both acute injuries and chronic pain. All-natural, patented technology developed by doctors to get you back in the game fast without the use of opioids, steroids, or NSAIDs. AlloMD, harnessing the power of pure natural ingredients that provide deep, penetrating repair. Patented, validated, natural. Learn more at www.allomd.com and make sure to use the discount code PBR at checkout to save $5 off your order. What's up? Welcome to another episode of Pickleball Recovery. I'm your host, Tim Ringgold. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Just playing pickleball today. I am resting today. I had my second singles training session yesterday morning since April. Yikes. It is September at the time of this recording, 2023. Yeah, man, I've been out a long time with this head injury. And as I used the month of August to kind of slowly work my way back in, I could tell my body wasn't ready to go try to run around playing singles. So I gave myself a month of playing doubles, start to build my pickleball legs, for lack of a better way of putting it. And then just started last week, played my first training session. Boy, it was ugly. But yesterday, a lot better. So yay, coming back. And just in time, because I am off to Cincinnati tomorrow to play in the PPA Baird Wealth Management Open in Cincinnati. And I am completing another milestone that I'm excited to share with you. So on September 2nd, I turned 3 in pickleball years. Happy birthday to me. Haha. Yeah, it was 3 years ago. So, September 2nd, 2020, when I had my first pickleball lesson. And I went on this journey, of learning how to play, falling in love with it, and then making the decision, I'm going to turn senior pro. I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to start a website. And I did. And I spent 2022 playing singles out on the pro tour to meet other guys and gals who played senior pro with the hope of kind of introducing myself to them as someone, who's a worthy partner, kind of putting myself in the shop window, if you will. And this was based on advice from Ben Johns and Rob Nunnery on their podcast, RIP, the Freestyle Boys, where they talked about what's the best way to break into the pro tour. It's to play singles. And I just inserted the word senior pro tour, so put senior in there for me. And so I spent 2022 playing singles and then started in 2023 playing men's doubles at every tour stop. And it was great. And my 3-year goal was that by the end of 2023, I will have met enough of the women on the senior pro tour to play mixed men's and singles at a tour stop. Well, the problem with that is I'm sponsored on the PPA tour, and the women don't really play the PPA tour. Kind of hard to find them there. So it's been a little slower. But this week I have a men's partner and a women's partner, and I'm playing singles. So I am just super excited because, well, actually, by the time you hear this recording, I'll have done all 3 of those things. But as I'm recording it in this moment, I'm really excited about ticking off this milestone because it's been a long vision of mine, and it's coming to fruition. It is hard getting partners for, cities in, foreign states. It just is. It's, the logistics of managing partnerships is really challenging because of everybody's schedule, their own goals, their preferences of tour, all kinds of things go into it, right? And then there's player compatibility, both on and off the court. So I'm really happy that I was able to finally, celebrate this. And the other thing I'm going to celebrate with you is that I'm holding in my hand this handy dandy business card that says Tim Ringgold, Regional Territory Manager West for Ultimate Repair X. So you guys know this podcast is sponsored by AlloMD, which is the maker of Ultimate Repair X. And I have been working hand in hand with Chris and Ala Hardy for, 18 months since they first put this product on my body. You guys, I've never had another product like this on my body. No joke. I'm not joking around here. Okay. And it never ceases to amaze me how fast it works, how much it helps. And when I put it on other people, how quickly they notice and how surprised they are. Never stops, never ceases to amaze me. So Ultimate Repair X recently was placed in 130 Lifetime Fitness gyms around the country. And well, AlloMD needed someone to train all the trainers and the staff in 6 or 7 Western states for, how to actually sell this to their customers, their members. And so I raised my hand because I've had such a good relationship with the product and such a good relationship with Chris and Ala. And so here we go. Another journey for me. I have now, how many gyms have I been to train the trainers? I've lost track already. I think probably about 11. And it's just been great. What an organization. Holy cow. By the way, if you've ever considered joining a Lifetime, that place is awesome. I just got to say, I interviewed Dan Roditi, the pickleball pro from Lifetime San Clemente out here. And, the PPA plays at several Lifetime locations. So I've kind of had an introduction to these places and been like, wow, this place is really nice. But now that I'm meeting the staff and particularly the leadership within each location, I'm so impressed with everything, basically. I'm really impressed with this organization. So I'm super excited to support them, help their members to feel better faster, which is the whole premise of this podcast and my platform. So it's in total alignment with what I set out to do when I started this whole thing. And so I'm so excited for this next level of the journey. If you haven't tried Ultimate Repair X, I'm telling you, buy a tube, or if you come to a PPA tour, stop, come to the booth, we'll put it on you for free. Get this stuff on your body. If you've got a chronic condition, put it on twice a day, every day for 10 to 14 days. You're going to be blown away with what it does in terms of its ability to restore damaged tissue and heal the underlying problem that's causing the inflammation and the pain. I mean, there literally is no other topical that does that. So give it a try for yourself. I'm telling you, it's just like, if you have chronic pain, you're willing to try new stuff, give it a try. You can't, you won't know for yourself until you do that. So buy a tube, buy a pump, whatever. Just buy a tube to start out and start using it and see for yourself. All right. So, this is just an exciting time, and I'm feeling like I'm reflecting back on 3 years of my pickleball journey, and I'm just filled with gratitude for what pickleball has done for me in my life and my family's life now. What a difference. I couldn't have seen this coming 3 years ago. Honestly, couldn't have seen this coming. So, if you're in a spot in a chapter of your life where you're not really sure where you're headed, or you're not really that excited about what you see coming down the road, let me tell you, just stick in there, and you really can't see around the corner what's coming your way. And don't be afraid to create something new for yourself, no matter how old you are. How else are you going to turn pro in a professional sport when you're 50? Come on, people. No way. This is what a unique opportunity this has been, So whatever it is for you, just kind of, hopefully my story kind of, breathes some excitement and some curiosity and some passion and fire into your own life in whatever it is you're up to. Right. This is a long intro. Sorry for the long intro. Let's get to our guest. Super excited to share this interview with you, with Ivette Brosz, because Ivette and I met at Ascent Adapt. Oh, I am so sorry, Heather. I always get the name of your company wrong. Ascent is the, Heather Hineker was the guest that we did CVAC, and we did Beamer and PEMF technology with. Oh my gosh, I'm just wrecking things right now. I'm so sorry. Yvette works at Ascent, and I met her there, and she turned me on to 2 new modalities that have made I've noticed the difference using them. So I want to pass them on to you. And I just want to say something. I got a feedback one day that my podcast is like an infomercial for products. And I'm like, yeah, duh. It's exactly what it is. The whole point is to turn you on to products and practices that you don't know about that will help you. How else am I going to do that but by interviewing the people and telling you all about it and then where to go to get it and use more of it? Like, duh, that's exactly what this is. So in case anyone's like, this is just an infomercial, guess what? You're right. It absolutely is. So now in this case, with the two modalities you're going to hear about today, I don't get any commissions. I'm not an affiliate of either of them. So I'm just passing these on as, sharing the increased knowledge base for you. And if you want to try them out for yourself, go do it. You're a grown up. You get to decide whatever it is. So sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, and I'll see you on the other side. Ivette Brosz, welcome to Pickleball Recovery.
Awesome. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so happy to have you with us. We are here in Ascent. Do we say
Adaptation and Regeneration.
Thank you.
Newport Beach.
Thank you. So we have had 2 episodes here so far with Heather Hinneker, our fearless leader.
And CEO. Yes, she is.
And we are talking about some new devices that you have put on my body at different times. And so we're going to get into those. But before we get into those, you have a connection to pickleball, a pre-existing connection that,
I do.
So tell me your kind of clinical background and then how that background landed you the intersection of that
with pickleball.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am the owner of Body Delux Sports Therapy. I work on all types of athletes. I was blessed enough to be contracted by the PPA for one of their attorneys here in Newport Beach.
Yep.
And I was working with Beamer.
Okay.
And doing body work. Just to back up what I do is I'm kind of like a pioneer as a massage therapist.
Okay.
Doing body work and combining biohacking with body work. So I combine all the technologies. Recovery speaks to my soul.
Yeah.
So I know how important it is for somebody to, just let me say this. If I told you massage therapy was going to fix all your problems, I would be lying to you. It's great. Body work is amazing. Everybody needs it if you ask me.
Yeah.
But combining it with the technologies, it's on a whole different level.
Yeah.
So I love what I do, and fixing people, my job is technically to get you on the podium.
I love that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I never forget the first time you said that. I was like, oh, cha-ching. That is a great line because that's what matters to the athlete.
Athletes, you're injured or, something hurts, something aches, and you got another match.
Yep.
Or, you have a tournament coming up and your knee's blown out, your elbow's blown out. So that getting you fixed up and getting you back so you can do what you enjoy is my goal. And I pursue it with such passion. I like from motocross to MMA fighters, pickleball players, I have some NBA guys,
Nice.
mountain bike, BMX people. And as athletes, it's important. You don't have that downtime. You don't want to take that downtime because points matter,
Yep. And none of us want to rest. One of my coaches said, motivation is never an issue. That's not the issue with athletes. The issue is actually time to recover.
Exactly. And performance and recovery are my specialties.
Nice.
So, yeah. So I got contracted by the PPA and I was blessed enough to meet and work on all the pro players.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love that community too. It's the camaraderie and the love between the pickleball community is out of this world.
Yes.
So
it's a cool community.
It's fire.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. So I went to a clinic at the Newport Beach Tennis Center, tennis and pickleball, whatever they call it these days, the tennis center. And for Tyson, McGuffin was giving a 2-day clinic. And when I was there was a tennis tournament because they host a ton of tennis tournaments. And it was the first time I had ever been at a tennis tournament. And the vibe was awful. It was like a library. But it was like a library during finals week. So it was boring plus tension. That's exactly the vibe, right? And I was like, I can hear a pin drop around it. This is awful, right? A month later, I came back for my first pickleball tournament. And they had speakers up on the top of the bathrooms blaring
Music's
AC/DC.
bumping.
People are drinking, while they're in between matches. And I was like, this is like I'm at a festival. This is like a festival vibe here, but not just any concert, like a particular festival vibe where everyone there is kind of like mentality. And I was just like, my people.
You know, one thing that I noticed about the athletes that play pickleball, at least a lot of the pro ones, when someone's got like an event coming up, they're in their head, they can't be disturbed. You know what I mean? This is game.
Right.
I can't. But everyone's like so laid back.
Yeah.
It's such a trip. I mean, your performance is outstanding,
right.
but then you're just genuinely yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
And I love it.
It's a good mix.
It is a great mix.
It's a good mix.
Yeah.
I think it's in the name. I joke, because you can't be somebody who takes yourself so seriously and then choose to play a sport with the word pickle in it. I don't think that a super serious person could get themselves to do that, because then they would have to tell their friends and family and loved ones that they play a sport with the word pickle in it, and then no one would take them seriously. And so I can't do that, So I think my theory is that our sport, it like self-selects people who like to play hard and work hard at the same time, but don't take themselves too seriously, because in the end, it's just pickleball. So who knows? But it's a great vibe, and it's a great crew, and we're all in some sort of physical distress all the time, right? Everybody's got something that's on fire. And so that's how we met, because I somehow found you guys, and I don't even remember, I think it was through Beamer, was like Amy, Rob, and then Ian, Rob, and they knew Heather. They introduced us over email. I came down, hung out. We met that very first day that I came to hang out to even talk about shooting episodes for the podcast. And that's when you turned me on to this funny little disc.
The X39 patch.
X39 patch by LifeWave. And you were like, you should put this on. And I was like, okay. And I didn't really think much of it after that. And
because it's just a sticker.
Because it's just a sticker, right? It doesn't really, it's like taking a vitamin. You take a vitamin, you don't really notice you took a vitamin. The vitamin's doing all the work, but perceptually, you don't notice, right? And you have to remind yourself, take your vitamins, because it's not like, oh, I'm really dragging. Oh, I forgot. That's why I it's just, it does all the work on the inside. And then I had this concussion, and all my friends came out of the woodwork to recommend a million different modalities.
Everything and anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Under the sun.
I am a kitchen sink kind of guy, like throw everything in the kitchen sink at it. And one of my buddies had been diagnosed with stage 2 lymphoma, and he went on the patches, and within 60 days, his body had chewed up and spit out pretty much most of the tumors that had been flooding his system. So much so that his oncologist was like, don't come back. Don't tell any of my patients what just happened. I don't know what you're doing. Keep doing it. But like, I don't want to hear about it, because this doesn't.
It's not part of the protocol.
It's not part of their protocol. And he's like cancer free. And so it was, yeah, right. It was like, wait, what? And then, so he told me about it. He's like, listen, this was like literally a lifesaver for me. My buddy Tommy was in a wheelchair. He's walking now. Like, and there's 8,000 more testimonials all around the world if you have got time to read them. And I was like, whoa, hold up. That's a lot of hype. It's a lot of hype. Slow down. I'm glad you had this kind of reaction. But at the same time, I'm skeptical, to say the least. And so as I started to do the research on what it is, what it causes in the body, then I was like, that's a masterstroke.
So it's pretty amazing, because it's just glucose, water, and plant aminos. Not just, but
right.
There's crystals in the little patch.
Yep.
And it works by phototherapy. Your body naturally emits infrared light heat.
Yep.
And it activates a particular peptide in your body, which is a GHK-Cu peptide. That particular peptide, like you said, there's thousands of studies.
Yep.
You can look it up.
Yep. That peptide it's a master peptide. Like,
so people don't even realize, and I didn't even realize, because I was introduced to this the same week, like 10 days after the world shut down during COVID.
No kidding.
I actually just shared it on my Instagram, my video of the day that I patched my first person.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I didn't even know what I was talking about. Somebody just gave me a patch, and I was like, okay, these are stem cells. But the science behind it is, by the time you're 40, 60% of your stem cell production is gone. By the time you're 60, 65, you're not creating any more stem cells.
Wow.
That's huge.
Yep.
And I don't think that anybody really tells you that.
Nope.
So this having as maintenance is incredible.
Yep.
I mean, and a lot of people, the first things that they see is like their skin, their hair, more energy.
Yep.
Deeper sleep. It doesn't make you groggy, doesn't make you sleepy, but you get a deeper sleep, which is exactly what
Super
everybody
important for
needs.
recovery.
Exactly, because your body's recovering when you're sleeping.
Yep.
And it's just a simple little sticker. And the way the company, this is where, as a massage therapist, a sports massage therapist, I tend to go rogue with certain, because I'm my first guinea pig.
Yes.
And for my go-to would be, the first thing I do is stick it on my face. I don't know why, with things, whatever it may be, whatever technology, I'll put it on my face. But these little bad boys, I didn't even read the instructions. I just saw, like, it's a stem cell activation patch. The first person I patched blew out their knee.
Okay.
And it was full of fluid.
Okay.
I patched them, I beamered them, and I patched them.
Okay.
And within an hour, they started saying, I feel something different in my knee. And then, so technically the way you use the patches, you wear them 12 hours on, 12 hours off.
Yep.
I patch injuries. The way the company recommends it is your C7 and 2 fingers below your belly button. In Chinese medicine is a general wellness point. It works with your meridians.
Yep. That's where mine are on as we are taping right now.
So that's general wellness. Your body's going to create the stem cells and then dictate where to send them.
Yep.
On an injury, it's a game changer.
Wow.
Because it'll focus on repairing that area.
Wow.
So the amount of elbows, shoulders, you name it, surgeries that haven't healed.
Okay.
I go to town with those patches, and
the
results are pretty outstanding. I've had people send me their testimonies like, I had surgery 2 weeks ago and this wound hasn't healed up.
Right.
Though it's still open. And I'm like, well, you know what? Even though this tells you to put one patch on the back of your neck for 12 hours, put 3 of them around that wound and see what happens.
Yep.
And the testimonies are just out of this world.
Crazy.
Wow. It's already, I could see it's healing up and within the first 12 hours. So just little stories like that.
Okay.
I'm a fixer.
Yeah. No, I love it because I've been struggling ongoingly with a right shoulder injury, but I never applied the patches directly to the shoulder. And I have like the extra 10-pack and I'm already like ding right away.
Yeah. So, I mean, this company, actually, LifeWave, makes a slew of different patches.
Yes.
And they all work really well.
Yep.
But my go-to is the X39. Because stem cells are everything. It's part of your immune system.
Yes.
Everything and anything. Baby cells that don't know what they want to be is what stem cells are.
That's exactly right. I think about it like
blood, brain, bone, collagen, elastin.
What do you need? They come out of the chute and they're like, I can put on any hat you want me to put on. I don't have a hat yet. And I'll work in that department, whatever it is. And that's what's the master stroke about it is because the body knows where it needs him. So it's like, let's just stimulate their growth and then we'll let our body fix what it knows because our body is a self-healing network and it's intelligent and it knows what it needs. So we can just get out of the way and give it what it needs.
I'm going to quote Heather. She always says the body's the miracle.
The body is the miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wants to regenerate itself because
Yes, it does. It just needs the right ingredients.
Yeah.
And so
I always say sometimes you just need to kickstart it or jumpstart it a little bit to get it going because sometimes stuff gets stuck.
Yep.
And
Brilliant. So I've been wearing these I don't remember how I got them pretty quickly after my concussion and the synergy of the different things that I did by the 8-week mark, there were some noticeable changes in terms of like, things are coming back online. And then at like the 10-week mark, there was like the light bulb like turned back on. And it was given how bad my symptoms were during the first 8 weeks particular, but the first 4 weeks in specifically, I had a little bit of like imposter syndrome. It's not imposter syndrome, but like, did I just make that up? Did I have a concussion? Because where I was to where I got back in the amount of time I got back was so much shorter of time than the last time I had a major concussion that put me in the hospital. That one was like a year, and this was like 2.5 months. That's a major difference,
and
know?
then so you're looking at all the tools
so I'm like,
that
what
you're
did I use this time that I
Exactly.
didn't use last time? And Newcom which I just interviewed the CEO of Newcom. He was on the pod.
That's a great
which
technology.
These guys, use here. I used that this time. I had never used it. I used this time. I'd never used it before. And I used chiropractic with a very special CPR protocol. And now I've interviewed the chiropractor for the pod. I've interviewed Jim Poole for the pod. And now this is like full circle.
That's awesome.
We're kind of coming around with all the things. And I'm the guinea pig. That's the whole premise of this whole podcast is I'm the guinea pig. How do I help myself and then just tell everybody else what worked? So online, LifeWave, you can just go probably Google LifeWave, right?
Yeah. So cost-wise, each patch, if you broke it down, is less than a cup of coffee a day.
Okay.
So, you can find a distributor. You can contact Ascent. Mm-hmm. We carry them in stock.
Yep.
We can.
In fact, guys, if you are interested in it, reach out to Ascent. I'm not a distributor. I decided to opt out of being a distributor for them until I went through the whole protocol.
And I always
follow up with you guys.
We recommend people try them out 60 days, 90 days is best.
Yep.
And I could just give you a little story. My mom, who's 81, doesn't want to retire.
Okay.
And she started using the patches maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
And she would come home from work, and this is just me watching her. She would come home from work and just be done. I mean, but at that age, you're working 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to stop.
Right.
So she turned her onto the patches, and this woman is moving and grooving. She comes home. She still has her purse on her shoulder. She's still dressed in her work outfit. She's like doing dishes and then she'll be like, okay, I'm going to go retire and change and then come back down. But she's full of energy now.
Vibrant.
And she knows on a day that she's like, I think I forgot to patch myself today.
Ah, wow.
Yeah. So
she can tell the difference.
You notice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That? That's really neat. That's a really cool story.
Yeah. So it's longevity.
Yeah.
It's regeneration.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And that's what we're all in the game for, because I want to keep playing one more year.
I always have this saying, I'm time fighting.
Time fighting. Yes. Yes. I'm trying to think so Sean Lake is the founder of a company called Bubs Naturals that makes collagen, MCT oil, coffee, electrolytes. And in memory of one of his buddies who died in the Benghazi attack, he was a former military and contractor for the government, providing security over there. And his quote was, "Die young as late as possible."
Amen.
And I was like, yes, that's exactly it. I want to be like full speed and then dead. Like that is exactly it. No slowing down for this guy. I'm just like, no. So this is helping me. And then recently I came in for some treatment. We did CVAC, which you guys have heard about on prior episodes. And I was on the, what do you guys call it? The Sonic.
You were on the Sonic and you're clearing out your ears after getting out of the CVAC
That's
pod.
it. And you walked up to me and you're like, I just used this new laser on somebody. It's still out. You want to get lasered? And I was
does anything hurt?
It's like, does anything hurt? Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Yeah. And so sure enough, I have been, since my very first tennis lesson. So when I was 48, someone bought me tennis lessons as a gift, my dear friend Tommy Rosen. And I went and had a tennis lesson. And that lesson, I destroyed my shoulder because I was suddenly 18 again. So I hadn't swung a racket in 30 years. But I'm out there swinging ground strokes like I'm an 18-year-old stud. And I'm swinging as hard as I can for the fences. And I came home and my shoulder and my pec were so tore up that I had to wear like my shoulder ice pack afterwards.
I was just going to say, did you ice it?
Yeah. And, but I knew in that lesson that yoink, something happened deep in my shoulder that day. Anterior. It was like, And ever since, despite all the work I've done on building my rotator cuff muscles, I have dealt with persistent trouble. And what it looks like at this point, it could be a labrum tear. It could be a rotator cuff tear, but it's probably the labrum just from, process of elimination and watching a million videos about the difference. And I took 3 months off because of my concussion. no diminishing of symptoms in the shoulder. That I was like,
even after 3 months.
Even after 3 months, all I'd have to do is go to lift my arm to put on my deodorant, and it would be like, yipe.
I've torn my labrum before from an accident, and yeah, you can't lift. It catches.
There. Yep, catches, and I can do it right now. Like, there it is. Yeah, ooh, there's that pain. You know, and I'm like, I'm playing senior pro pickleball. I'm 3 years in. I haven't played a single day without pain in my shoulder, and I'm like, I wonder what it would be like. Like, what kind of pickleball player could I be if I was not in pain every time I went out there?
What box would you be standing on?
What box would I be standing on? And I'm just like, you know, some things have, given me a little bit of relief. Some things have given me no relief. But that day with this laser, you put it on my shoulder. And the only two things that have provided like a noticeable change was the beamer, the belt, and this laser. So let's talk about Thor, because it's the greatest name ever.
It is.
And what is it? What does it do? And how did it come into your world? Yeah, let's go.
So Thor laser is photobiomodulation. It's red light therapy. It's a combination of red light and near infrared.
Yep.
So what it does, it's frequency, obviously, wavelengths of light that help repair tissue. The beauty of Thor laser, not only does it repair tissue, like ligaments, tendons, muscle, you treat the lymphatic area first.
Oh.
So I don't know if you remember when I did work.
You did my armpit first.
I did your armpits first.
Yeah.
So we treat the lymph area first before anything, and then we treat the area of concern. The reason we do that is we're flushing out the lymphatic area, which your lymph system hold pollution, toxins.
Sewage. It's your sewer system.
Yep, it's the trash trucks of your body. I always say that.
Trash trucks. So
it is.
Yeah,
and then
it is.
so
100%.
Debris stuff, toxins, cancer cells get stuck in there.
Yep.
And then there's certain ways to clear out your lymphatic system. Being active obviously is one of them.
Yep.
But it's super important to your lymph, and technically they say a third of your lymph nodes are in the neck area.
Wow.
Out of your whole system.
Yep.
So if it's shoulder, if it's elbows, everything is here. So we treat the lymph area here and here.
Okay.
Or in the neck area.
Interesting.
And then it gives the inflammation somewhere to go when you do the laser.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but the results that I've seen with the Thor laser, it's like day and night.
Wow.
Yeah. Another beautiful thing that it does is it increases your circulation, increases oxygen, increases your ATP.
Okay.
So it gets that more output, energy output.
Yep.
And the other thing is it kind of creates the perfect environment for cells to repair and to replicate.
Yeah, there you go.
So who doesn't want that?
Yeah. Again, giving the body the environment it needs to stimulate healing.
To do what it's supposed to do.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all I'm doing is, helping you repair you so you can keep on going.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't hot, wasn't cold, like I hardly noticed.
It's a cold laser, so they call it low-level laser therapy.
Okay.
It is a cold laser.
Yep.
So this probe is the LED.
Okay.
And then this one is the laser.
Okay.
This covers a bigger area. This is the one that we use for the lymphatic system.
Okay.
Actually, another beautiful thing is that collagen and elastin.
Yes.
So, like I said, one of the things that I do all the time is put stuff on my face.
Your face.
I laser my face.
Yes.
And diminishes fine lines on an aesthetic point.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not an esthetician. I'm a licensed massage therapist.
Right.
But the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
And so we have lymph nodes even on the face right here. And then sometimes, so here, your we have all the glands right here. Your tonsils.
Okay.
Those are lymphs.
No kidding.
Some of the largest lymphs that we have in our body are right behind your ear right here.
Wow.
Kind of by the vagus nerve.
Okay.
It's day and night.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's super important to keep those lymphs cleared out and then treat the area of concern.
Yep. Stimulate the healing in that area.
Yeah. So reducing inflammation, reducing pain, it's almost immediately.
Yes. That was my experience.
Yeah.
Like, I feel better.
Yeah. And so, like I said, it's my retirement plan. I love the Thor laser. The amount of people I've been able to help.
Nice.
And how I came across it is a whole nother crazy story.
Yeah.
We borrowed a laser. Heather, who's the owner of Ascent, has a friend that had a laser, the Thor laser. We borrowed it. She blew out her back. My wrist was hurting, and our other coworker, something else was. We lasered each other.
Okay.
Technically, we locked ourselves in the room and we lasered each other. So
as one does.
Yeah, because we're our first guinea pigs.
Yes.
I'm not going to try I'm not going to tell you this works if I haven't done it myself.
Yes. No, but it's just so great, like, because we're all geeks about this stuff.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, oh, what do you need? Oh, I'm gonna get. I could just see the excitement.
It's like Felix the cat and his bag of tricks.
It's so good.
But I noticed, like, right away, my intuition is pretty spot on.
Okay.
Like, I could see your cards before you even lay them down, kind of intuition.
I like it.
So I was like, man, I need to look into this thing.
Right.
And to rewind, 2 years ago on my birthday, my best friend got hit by a car on her motorcycle.
Oh.
Yes. By the grace of God, she was alive. But she broke her left femur, almost amputated her right foot. They saved it by doing a bypass.
Oh my God.
And then broke her arm in 2 places.
Jeez.
Long story short, the ankle, it was the major concern because this way we're trying to get circulation. I mean, I threw my beamer, I threw the patches at it, I threw the light stem, red light belts to it.
Yep.
When I saw this thing and how I felt immediately, I looked up Thor Laser right away.
Got it.
And they offered these free classes, which were sports recovery, wellness and healing, and just everything that was right up my alley.
Yeah.
So I signed up, and then I went. This was on a Tuesday. The day we lasered each other, and I looked up the stuff was on a Tuesday. That Saturday, I went to my best friend's house. She's laid up in the hospital bed in her living room. Her mom's hanging out with her, and I walk in. I haven't seen her. She's like, I just got off the phone with my aunt who does Reiki with me on the phone. And I was like, I've known you for 35 years. Who's this aunt?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I've never heard of your aunt.
Okay.
She goes, yeah. She goes, she asked me, she goes, you have a friend named Ivette. Well, it gets even kookier.
Okay.
She goes, who's a sports massage therapist and works with technologies. And my friend's like, yes, I do. Yes, she is. And I have some of her stuff here. I have the beamer here. I have the patches here. I have one of her red lights here. She goes, no. This is some sort of cold laser she's going to be able to help you with. I got goosies all over my body. I looked at her and I'm like, no way. Let me tell you what I discovered this week. So I tell her about the laser, and then I'm like, to me, that was confirmation.
Yeah, 100%.
I need to get this thing.
Holy cow, right?
Because I'm going to be able to help my best friend.
Yes.
And honestly, she went back to work last Monday for the first time.
Yo!
In 2 years, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So treating her, we came to a standstill on her recovery.
Yeah.
And the doctors wanted to, stuff that I'm not a doctor.
Right.
So, but they wanted to put magnets in her leg and kind of move the magnets every day, 8 centimeters, to get the bone marrow down to her ankle. I was like, oh, that doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of was like, wow, that's kind of extreme.
Yeah.
But
and invasive.
Exactly. But I was like, let's give this a whirl.
Yeah.
And they wanted her to start dangling her foot because it's been elevated for however many months.
Yep.
And it was too much.
Yeah.
And so we started lasering. I followed the protocol. It is a class 3 medical device.
Okay.
So I am certified in that.
Nice.
Just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
Let's see, we started doing twice a week for 4 weeks.
Okay.
And then she was already bearing weight on it. Like that dramatically.
So twice a week, that's like not a lot.
Not a lot. And the only reason I did it twice a week because that was the only open opportunities I had to go over to her house.
Got it.
If I could have been over there every single day,
right,
it probably would have been even quicker.
Maybe. But that's what's so fascinating about this stuff sometimes is that it's not like more is better. And we all think more is better, right? But like the beamer, like 8 minutes twice a day, right?
Exactly.
That's it, right? It's only 8 minutes. Like,
and your body's not going to receive it anymore.
No, that's all it takes, you know? And so it's sometimes it's really fascinating that, you know, it's these little levers swing big doors, kind of little hinges swing big doors. And that's just another example that it doesn't take, you know, because I think one of the things that gets in people's way whenever they're trying to consider doing something new. Time and money, right? But time. Like, even if they have the money, I don't have the time. It's like, but you do actually, because you've blown that same amount of time scrolling on Instagram or on Facebook twice a week. That is not a lot of time in the course of a week to dramatically change the health of a part of your body that's been injured.
Exactly. So the reason I combine technologies, biohacking with body work,
Yep.
because I'm being that performance is what I think is important to me for you.
Yep.
Because whether you're an athlete or you're, banging a keyboard in a cubicle,
Sure.
Everybody's doing something.
Yes.
I was frustrated myself. Like I said, I tore my labrum back in, I want to say it was like 2016.
Okay.
But going to the doctor's office and not getting the results that I expected.
Yep.
And then expecting me to have time to come back week after week.
Yep. Yep.
To get fixed.
Right.
I was like, I'm done. I got this.
Yeah.
I got this. I don't, it is what it is.
Yes. Yes.
So when people come to see me,
Yep.
yes, I do body work and I incorporate the technologies, but I throw everything at it.
Yes.
Everything that you need.
Yep.
To get you at 100%.
Yep.
Because, and people laugh because they're like, okay, should I come back next week? When do you want me to come back?
Right.
And my answer is always, let's gauge it.
Yep.
Let's see how you feel.
Yep.
Because if I tell you, and everybody's different.
Yes.
There's different scenarios for everybody.
Yes.
But if I feel like you don't need to see me twice a week.
Right.
If I did my job.
Yep.
For doing what I do.
Yep.
You should be, improved, feeling better.
Yep.
And then that's just give it time. And like with the Thor laser, you actually keep improving the next 3 days. So by day 2, and this happened to my best friend.
Okay.
Bearing weight on it.
Yep.
And then she was doing her physical therapy stuff. She's got a little gym. She was working out.
Yep.
Felt so good day 2 that you're overdoing
Yes.
it. So there's that.
Yes.
So it's kind of like there's like a little dance you have to do. You don't want to overdo it because you feel so great,
Right.
because we're in that recovery mode.
Yep.
But I believe in throwing everything I got at it to get you where you need to be.
100%, which was so funny. Like the last 2 times I've been here, it's like, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this while we're doing this, and then we're going to do this too.
We stack the hack.
Stack the hack. That's me. I'm a habit stacker and a hack stacker, 100%. And that's why when people are like, well, what worked? I was like, all of it. There's some synergy that's happening when I'm doing this plus this plus this plus this, but I can't necessarily tease out. And I remember the first doctor, Dr. Dan Engel, who has got a great book called The Concussion Repair Manual. That's like the most keyword specific book ever. And I was like talking to Dr. Dan on the phone, and I was like, well, what do you do? Because he's a concussion survivor. And he's like, well, let me put it to you this way. When I'm giving advice as a doctor, I tend to recommend things sequentially. When I'm doing things for me, I tend to do things simultaneously. And I was like, thank you. Just like the honesty of that was awesome. And Dr. Dan's a phenomenal human being. And I appreciated that honesty, because it's like when you have something going down, you want to get to the heart of it as soon as possible. And you don't want to do one thing and then C, and then one thing and then C. And when you do them sequentially, you don't take advantage of any synergies that you may not be aware of when 2 things are working at the same time. And that's part of this journey that I've been like, that's why I love Ascent, because you guys stack the hack. And I have just been a firm believer of that. People are like, what's your morning routine? I'm like, how much time do you have? Because it's a 22-step process.
I do about 3 or 4 things before. And that doesn't even include like supplements and electrolytes and all the good stuff that goes behind it.
It's a laundry list. It's
red
this
light,
plus
sauna.
this plus this plus this plus this. Exactly. And then I start my day, and so, oh, wow. Okay. It's all the things. And I'm like, yeah, it's all the things. Yeah. So find the things, and some things you're going to get results out of, some things you're going to be totally in line with, but like all the things has been my mantra. So how do people follow you online?
Body Delux Inc. And it's BODYDELUX.
Okay.
Inc.
Inc.
So I just want to touch base on a little bit of what we do. So when people ask me what we do at Ascent,
Yep.
we improve human performance on a cellular level.
Yes.
So everything, we do stack things.
Yep.
But we look at every individual as, maybe you might just need to do a beamer session or
Yep.
a CVAC session to flush your system out or
Yep.
increase your VO2 max or whatever it is that we, everybody's different.
Yep.
For some cases, we won't stack because we don't want to throw somebody into a detox or whatever it may be. You got to be careful
Gotcha.
about what we're doing because most of them are class 2 technologies. This is a class 3.
Yep.
But, yeah, you can feel great by, layering a couple different things, like doing the beamer with a little bit of red light
Yep.
or the Newcom
Or
and the
doing
beamer.
Newcom and beamer.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot of different things you can do.
There are. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to Phoenix this weekend, and I'm going to be participating in a ceremony, and I can't disclose the different things that we're stacking, but it's really cool. Like this plus that.
Right? You're like in a candy store.
Yeah, like a candy store. It's like a recovery candy store. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Ivette, thanks for joining us on Pickleball Recovery.
I appreciate you having me.
Woohoo. Thanks so much for listening. Did you know there's one place on the web for all your recovery needs? It's at www.pickleballrecovery.com. You'll find all the products I personally use and recommend, along with exclusive discounts on many of them, as well as my blog where I help you make sense out of all the different products and practices out there to keep you moving and feeling better so you play better. After all, your body is the most expensive piece of equipment you own. Also, do you want to know the number one mistake picklers make that leads to increased pain, soreness, stiffness, and injury? Just head over to pickleballrecovery.com and download my free guide to playing with less pain and more enjoyment. Listen, pickleball makes us feel young at heart, but not young in body. So go download my free guide at www.pickleballrecovery.com. See you next time.